Today's episode of Mob Rules is brought to you by the number 9 and the letter F and U. My son has been getting 30 minutes of TV time a day to watch Sesame Street.
Oh, man.
Man, I love Sesame Street. If you are quite loose, it is an amazing show. Hey, this is Mob Rules joined by...
I mean, technically,
yes. This is John, joined by...
I'm Danny.
Yes, we are Mob Rules, leaner
in the morning.
Leaner and meaner.
That's right.
Meaners and fuck you.
Yeah.
You in particular. And, you know, we usually start off by talking about games played and what we've done, but today we're going to do something a little bit different, mainly so I can bust this out.
Man, this is epic.
The worst character in Warhammer 40,000 ever.
Man.
Yeah.
Dude.
Epic. Hey, so this is going to be the first of a recurring segment where Danny and I talk about the worst characters in 40K ever. If you have a worst character you want to submit, we have a sizable list. Thankfully, it's not a hard job to find bad characters.
No. Well, fortunately or unfortunately, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for the purposes of content.
For us? Oh, yeah. Very fortunate. We're fortunate.
But Danny's going to kick us off today by talking about the worst character in 40K. And Danny, I have some accompaniment for you just to kind of really set the mood.
That's fantastic.
Our first character is very special.
He is a special man. So we have the individual we're going to be talking about today is a Necron Lord known as Thazar the Invincible.
Now, if you listen to the surprise podcast we released last week, where we talked to other members of the Rogue Trader Network, we did spoil that we would talk about Thazar. The metal beard, I guess.
yeah, that's exactly what he is. He could be Goldbeard. I don't know, maybe.
But
let's not quibble.
So Danny, from what I know about Necrons are like very Egyptian-like. So they have like pharaohs and like tomb worlds and pyramids, and everything is very Egyptian themed.
Correct.
Where does Thazar fit in this Egyptian theme?
So Thazar takes all of those concepts, crumples them up into a tinfoil ball, and throws them directly into the trash. Because those are trash concepts, apparently, and nobody wants a character like that. Instead, he forges his own narrative, which is that of a pirate. He's a self-stylized Necron pirate.
Yo-ho.
Yeah, yo-ho indeed, John.
Because I know when my consciousness is transferred into a metallic body and I lose free will until my Silent King lets me free, thank you, mistress, the first thing I want to do is just go swashbuckling across the sea.
Hell yeah, dude. What are you going to do? The first thing you're going to want to do is take a swig of grog. Oh. Or it's gonna feel the salty air in your skin.
Oh. It's kind of like that Davy Jones from that really bad Pirates of the Caribbean movie where like he tries to bite an apple and it just dissolves in his mouth, and that's why he's a dick.
Yeah, that's the entire reason. It's that entire reason. He's a bad apple. Oh, no, okay.
So that joke was as bad as his character.
So but yeah, you definitely want to go on the ocean, which is super, a corrosive environment to anything that's metal, right? Like, he actually would rust more on the ocean.
Well, Necrodermis, it could have,
maybe
very good anti-rust properties.
I mean, I'm sure it does. It's held up for
10 millennia, and they're still shiny with green rods.
Yeah, or even more. Well, for the time being.
For the time being. Rest in peace. Green rods, 1997 to 2020.
Thazar, he was exiled from his tomb world.
Of course, because he woke up and they're like, I want to be a pirate. And they're like,
well, no,
dude,
maybe he was a pirate before they exiled him. They're like, dude, you really don't fit our thematic image of Necrons anymore, so you're going to need to get the fuck out.
Imagine him waking up to the Pharaoh and like, I want to be a pirate, Dad.
I imagined it like Steve the Pirate from Dodgeball, where all the other Necrons are pretty normal, and then there's this guy with a bandana on his head and an eye patch.
Yar.
Yeah. And then like he goes normal for like a day, and everyone's like, "Dude, who the fuck are you?" Just another Necron Warrior.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Anyway, so he gets exiled from his tomb world.
Sure.
And during the war in heaven.
Okay.
They're like, dude, we're sick of your shit.
Man, he must be like
the fuck out.
a giant dick if during a massive war where your entire civilization is threatened, they're like,
we can't even use you anymore.
No, just go. Just leave.
Well, he kept capturing Necron ships, and like
He's only a pirate against his own kind.
yeah, he's like
Yar.
TK, man.
Oh, boy. So, yeah, he was exiled during
So
the
he's
war in heaven.
exiled, and then everybody falls asleep.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And so he woke up, and he destroyed like a hive world, like because his ship like took off from the crust and destroyed a bunch of hives, and then he realized that somehow like he has some kind of dominion code over his tomb world that he was exiled from, and so he just goes there and like, no, I'm the Pharaon now. You see me? I'm the Pharaon now.
But pharaons are now called captains.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, by the way, I've changed my title. Pharaon means captain now. And so basically he flies around the galaxy with singing a jaunty sea tune with his leg up, kind of like Captain Morgan.
Oh, yeah.
And then he destroys enemy ships. And tows them back to his tomb world, where he creates even more of a pirate armada.
Does he have a scarab on his shoulder?
Oh man, like it's like it's a scarab that's been infected with the flare virus, so it actually is wearing a skinned parrot. That seems dark in 40K.
Oh, yeah, that's nice and grimdark.
So I really hope this guy never gets a fucking model.
So
Jesus
he's
Christ.
just the worst, as we've quite clearly figured out. But if he was to get a model, what kind of rules would this asshat have?
I mean, I imagine that he would... he'd be able to summon like a cannonade from his ship to shoot people on, kind of like Imhotep the Stormlord can like shoot people with lightning.
Sure.
He could shoot a unit with cannonballs. And I only imagine that they don't use like fancy Necron Gauss weaponry. Like it's all black powder, like
black powder gauze
cutlasses. I wonder if this could be considered a virus like the Flare, Flare cult.
Yeah, like a pirate virus.
Yeah. Where if you're infected, you become a pirate. You say "nyar" a lot, and like,
it's legitimately the worst.
He's pretty bad. He's pretty bad.
If I could make a suggestion, if he was to have a model, it would just be a Necron Warrior, because that's all he is.
I like it.
The worst character in Warhammer 40,000 ever. Oh, that was too good. Please, if you have suggestions for the worst character ever, believe me, Danny and I, as a salty pair of sea dogs, have many
salty metal sea dogs. Yes.
Many suggestions. But please share it. mobrules.mobcast@gmail.com. Let us know on Facebook, on Twitter.
Absolutely.
What are your worst characters? Let us make fun little sound clips and 8-bit songs about them.
For sure.
All that other kind of fun stuff. But back to our normal programming.
Yeah, let's go back to reality.
Let's go back to reality. Danny, you've still been playing games like some kind of Warhammer player.
I know. It's insane. I have played now 2 in-person games. Let me tell you, the relief that I feel in my body is palpable.
Yeah. You're just like full chub the whole time.
Dude, it's been amazing.
It's like you got home and you're like, wife, bed now.
just jump up there. Spread them, get ready. So,
yar.
So I've been playing Sisters of Battle.
Yeah.
I played, let's see here. So I played, I think 3 games total since we last recorded, maybe. I feel like that's right.
I think so, because you played one before, right?
Oh, wait, no, I haven't then. I've only played one normal game. And I talked about the tabletop simulator game that I played last time, too. So I've only played... So since our last recording, I've only played one actual game of 40K in person.
You monster.
I know. I'm just a terrible person. So, yeah. Me and my friend were keeping it real safe. Let's put it that way. There's a lot of protection involved.
Then what about the Warhammer game?
Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah, we put up some sneeze guards over the table.
Just right along the deployment line for the midline. It's just a sneeze guard.
It's really annoying to try and move your models around, though. It's hard to measure through that.
Just gunline parking lot, man.
Yes, we just sit in our deployment zones, and that's how we socially distance.
It's a socially responsible army. It's just a fucking gunline. Who won?
Oh,
COVID, because this game was boring as shit.
It was the most boring fucking game. Yeah, so I did that. I have built some 40K models. I built. I converted up my Nasdreg model.
You did. That looks so good.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with how he came out. He looks cool as hell.
So would you have like a Hellblaster plasma gun on there, right? Or
It's a legit plasma cannon from a Dreadnought.
I was like looking through. It's like I have
it's little compared to him.
I have the plasma gun from the Mauler or the Forge Fiend.
Oh,
I found laying around. It's like, oh yeah, but then you'd already built it. I'm like, oh, it looks really good. You just filled in that blank space with a las cannon.
So it has a. Let's see here. It has the plasma gun or the plasma cannon. Sorry. It also has a. It's not a las cannon. It's a las fusel from the Eliminators.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. It's
like, I forgive you.
It's littler. Yeah. Anyway, just like me. And so it's...
But it does the job.
Yeah, right. That is precisely the point. It gets the job done, guys. That's what you have to remember. When you're converting, you can use whatever you'd like.
As long as you have fun.
Right.
Other people's enjoyment does not matter when it comes to...
Inconsequential, guys. Inconsequential. And then it's got like a zap part of a runt herder stick.
Yeah, I saw that too, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. And then I carved a big bad moon out of a piece of Titanicus ceiling from a building.
Oh, you carved that yourself? Holy shit! I thought you grabbed like an Age of Sigmar clan thing.
Nope. I actually made that myself. That was homegrown.
Nice.
Yep.
So you're Danny McDevitt, podcaster, wargamer, sculptor, artist.
I'm like barely even like two of those things. So yeah, I did that. I also, what else? Oh, I built the other orcs from the Prophecy of the Beast box.
Oh, yeah. Those are just old kits, though, right?
Yeah. There's some knobs and some mega knobs, and I needed the mega knobs, really.
Yeah.
I did not need more knobs.
The knob kit's really good for power claws, though.
For sure. It's got a lot of power claws.
Because I know for me personally, like when I was doing my orcs, I would buy a box of knobs so I could get power claw knobs for my boy units.
Oh, that's fair.
So, yeah.
Well, and I use black orc models with like space orc extras to make all the knobs from my boy units.
Savage orcs.
Oh, nice.
Right
That's
here.
cool. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are great models too. But yeah, it's been a week.
It's been a week
or 2 weeks.
Well, it's been a week since we recorded. Well, actually, it's been
yeah.
It's been like 4 days since we recorded.
Dude,
but
that recording was so good.
So good, yeah. We put up. It's a little. I just put it in as like a regular episode because it just felt like that.
For sure.
But we had a fun Skype call with the Seth from the Dangly Boys. We had the NZ40 Cabal boys from New Zealand.
Get at NZ.
They corrected me several times on how to say it. And,
I won't say it.
And it's their podcast. And then both the High Lords with us to talk about 9th edition, which we're going to get into some of the Q&A stuff a little later on.
Oh yeah.
But the Skype call, the unfortunate, if you're unfortunate enough to see the video of all of our faces, that is up on our YouTube channel. And the last episode of this podcast is just the audio of that because, why not double dip?
I apparently look like a potato with glasses, according to Adam Abramowitz. So, thanks for that, buddy.
So some of us were called poor open-shirted souls.
Oh man, brutal, dude.
Brutal. But
that guy doesn't like people from Alaska. That's what I heard.
That guy is not a fan of wargamers. I have not played any Warhammer, sadly. Obviously.
That's a shame, man.
Shame. No, I think I will soon here.
Shame.
I'm going to get back into it. I just need to, I'm really hyped about the 2K list that I kind of memed out.
It looks really fun, man.
And it looks like a really fun list. So this week I ordered a Glotkin because that's one of the models that's having his price being put up.
Yeah, I actually bought a Morathi the other day for that same reason, because I'm like, oh, well, I really want one. So.
Yeah, so I'm going to convert him into a Great Unclean One. So I'm going to give him a bell, give him still the flail. I need to figure out how to do all that stuff there. But
he has a big tentacle.
Yeah, so I think it's like what I was thinking of doing with the tentacle is cutting the tentacle off and then using the Rodigus hand.
Oh, okay, cool.
On that one there, and then doing something where like just a bell hanging out of the like gun mouth arm, like off of a chain coming there is what I think I'm going to do. But
that'll look cool.
Even looking at it, like, so my list is 2 Great Unclean Ones, and those models are expensive. Holy heck,
they're pricey.
Like Danny donated one to the unbuilt model fund that I had in my house, of just like sitting in a pile, and I'm like, oh cool, I need a second one, and then I looked at the web store, and there's like $140, and I'm like, oh shit.
Oh, really? They're wow. Okay.
140. I feel less guilty because I'm like 90% sure it was from prize winnings.
Mostly, I think. Yeah, I'm sure it was mostly that.
But it was an amazing model put together. But also, especially with some of the stuff coming out for Engine War, where there is like exalted greater demons.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see what those do.
I want to have a special looking Great Unclean One because
hell yeah.
I want to have an exalted greater demon,
and he's bigger than a Great Unclean One.
Yep.
So
it's not like a modeling for advantage. Even though I'm going to make him like duck or bend over or something like that, like the kneeling Wraith Knight dilemma.
You can have him coming out of a pool of slime.
Yep, there you go.
Just his head.
Just an arm, just a tentacle arm. But yeah, so in this past,
oh Lord, he coming.
In this past 2 weeks, what was the name of Tom and Jerry? The old lady housekeeper in Tom and Jerry, because that's going to be the name of that second Great Unclean One.
Oh, I don't remember. I'm going to look it up.
We'll look it up, but that'll be the name. So in the past 2 weeks, I assembled and painted fully a Great Unclean One. Super happy with how it turned out. That model kit is just so good that like I really, if it wasn't for the fact the rules were coming for exalted Great Unclean Ones, and I wanted kind of a special boy. Well,
do not name her Mammy Two Shoes, please.
No, there being a lot of apostrophes there. It'll be fine.
Okay.
But holy shit! I lost my train of thought on Mommy Two Shoes. That's really bad.
Yeah. Don't do it, dude.
No. Yeah. I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
But I'm excited about my list. So I painted that up, and then since Sunday. So we're recording Wednesday now. So Sunday, in 4 days, I painted 7 Plague Marines, just kind of like sitting, and I'm really happy with how those are turning out. And it really, I think a lot of it came from the fact the Great Unclean One and the Plague Marines came from watching the Duncan Rhodes Painting Academy video on contrast.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He has this amazing, and I put it up on our Facebook page and on my Twitter. He has this amazing 14-minute video about contrast and different techniques for contrast.
Oh, okay.
And for me now, contrast is like a must-use tool. So like I'll show you later on, Danny, but the skulls on the flail for the Great Unclean One, just contrast and 1 coat of paint. And, the most important thing, I think I said this last time, to learn is contrast is just a base color and a wash. Sure. So it's definitely not like a finished product. So if you just go and do that little finishing step, so it
makes all the difference. So
like the skulls of my Great Unclean One are just the Wraithbone, the Skeleton Horde, and then Screaming Skull.
Yeah.
That is it, and it looks so good. So I'm very happy about that. I have, like I said, 7 Plague Marines painted up. I have a Malignant Plague Caster I painted up.
Nice.
Man,
that model is so cool.
So cool. I have like 3 of them too.
Did you just use the Pukey guy?
Yeah, the one from the set. Yeah.
Cool, because there's the other model too.
Oh, there's 2?
Yeah, the special edition guy from the Japanese blind box.
I'm gonna have to look at that guy.
Yeah,
I get the Chaos Lord from the blind box, so I have that Plague Lord.
That guy's so cool too.
So he's gonna be my Lord,
for sure.
And then I ordered a bunch of the easy to build Plague Marine models. I ordered 6 boxes total now, because I need Blight launchers.
Okay.
Or Plague Marines with Blight launchers, because those are really good. I don't see them getting any worse.
No, I think they're only going to get better. We'll see though. I mean, we have no inside information.
Asterisk. We have no inside information about what the Death Guard stuff is going to be in their Psychic Awakening or how stuff's going to work in 9th edition. But I have a feeling Blight launchers are good now. They're only going to get better.
Yeah, I think they're going to.
I have a feeling troops are going to get really good in 9th edition.
I feel like they have to.
So,
but we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that later. But yeah, so I ordered a bunch of Blight launchers so I could just max out all of my Plague Marine squads. It's 100 points. for 5 Plague Marines with 2 Blight Launchers.
Yeah, that seems like a decent deal.
Cannot knock that. So 300 points for right now for my low battalion tax.
Okay, cool.
It's pretty good. And they're going to just kind of scoot along. Oh, I bought 3 Blight Haulers as well.
Oh, yeah.
So I now have 6 Blight Haulers.
Hell yeah.
And like I said, this list is just, if you look back, Danny, from like the time you've known me, like the lists I tend to succeed with and the lists I tend to settle on are little balls of death.
Sure, okay.
Going all the way back to like my Dire Avenger ball.
Oh yeah, that's true with Azerman and stuff.
With Azerman and stuff, to then my Nurgle ball, where everything was in 7, and now I have like a different Nurgle ball. It's just little balls of death is what makes me happy.
John just loves his balls.
I love my balls. And these Nurgles are sloppy, but man.
Yeah, but hey, they get the job
done. They do get the job done. So I got a bunch of stuff painted. I got a new painting area set up before. I was just kind of using like a side table on the couch. And I set up my computer desk to be a painting area.
Okay, cool.
And I think that's been very helpful because all I do is I have like a really big iMac. So all I do is I put on YouTube or like
perfect.
HBO when I'm sitting painting, and I have like a movie in the background, and
that's the way to go, man.
It's really
I need to get my painting station set up. Like I feel you 100%. Like that, once I get that done, I think I would be a lot happier with like the amount of work that I can get done painting.
Yeah. Well, and for me, it's like I could sit and watch a show or I could paint, and I'll always choose the show because I'm a lazy piece of shit.
Yeah.
Whereas if I can do both, then I'm going to do both.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But that's about all we've been up to. We're going to be right back after this with something. It's this packed show. We have,
dude, it's insanely
like
packed.
After like the past couple of episodes, we're like, shit, what do we talk about? And then we're like, now what don't we talk about?
So much.
And you know what we're not talking about.
Do you have a single wound? A standard bolt gun? Having trouble maintaining an acceptable Xenos kill count? Only barely over 2 meters tall? Maybe it's time to ask your lieutenant if the Rubicon Primaris is right for you. The Rubicon Primaris is a prescription process that helps you to update that tired look. You may notice an increase in your purging abilities after within 2 to 4 hours. You may experience loss of life, additional organs, and a points increase. Do not take the Rubicon if you plan on fitting into rhinos, drop pods, or other traditional vehicles. The Rubicon Primaris is not intended for second founding chapters. The Rubicon Primaris is for use on genetically enhanced super soldiers over the age of 800 only. You are encouraged to report negative side effects to your company's apothecary. The Rubicon Primaris. Because sometimes plot armor is just not enough.
Oh, we're back. And it helps if I unmute us.
Yeah, that does tend to help things.
So, hey, last episode / get together, we talked about the 9th reveal and kind of things that we were looking for and hoping for.
Oh, man.
And this week, courtesy of the kind of 40K overlords of Stu and Pete, which sounds like a children's magician group.
Yeah, like a show on Nickelodeon.
Yeah. Like the sweet life of Stu and Pete. Well, now I have another gift to make. All right. They did like a big Q&A where they answered a lot of questions about the new edition, because all we really knew kind of going into it was that all of our existing codexes would still be usable. All our existing models would still be usable.
Right.
And they clarified a few things in kind of the Q&A that they did on Tuesday on Warhammer TV over on Twitch. Mm-hmm. The first thing they kind of really went over was they're going to do a lot to help horde and assault armies. For me, please, thank you.
So yeah, and a lot of people were like, "Well, are they going to shit all over horde armies?"
Because it seemed that way when they were talking about vehicles locked in combat can shoot.
Right, totally, and like the max hits from blast weapons.
Yeah, I mean, like
that seems like that could hurt units that are big.
Yeah, but I'm super excited to be a horde army charging a hellhound.
Yeah, no, you're not. So I think like changes to cover, like all the cover rules are changing. They're adding like a new keyword, I guess, to cover called obscuring.
Yep. Which seems kind of similar to what ITC has been doing for the bottom level of ruins.
But I think it's the entire piece.
Which, it says that it's going to block line of sight that passes through the base. So I think the important thing from that is if you're not even on the ruin, and your opponent has line of sight that just passes through the base of the ruin or the obscure terrain, you're going to get cover from that, or you're going to be obscured,
or you won't be able to be shot at all.
Right. Yeah. Which again, for assault armies, which is like, not to toot my own horn, but like 40K hard mode.
Sure.
Like it's just like another layer of movement and positioning.
Oh, yeah.
To kind of get your stuff out there. So maybe you are going to take a turn longer to get into combat, but let me tell you, that extra turn, you're not going to be shot the entire way up the board.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah.
So especially, like, I can see that being played with a lot of the different pieces of terrain. And so if we extrapolate this a little bit, right?
Sure.
And we talk about terrain keywords. So I think you're going to see, I think maybe every table have a sheet of terrain rules.
I think we talked about this a little on Saturday too. I think the way they're describing it, you sort of have to. And I know LVO Top Tables did really good with that, with having those rules there. But if they are expanding terrain and kind of making that a bigger part of the game, and it's always been the thing where we've said, like, no, terrain's the third army of the game.
And they specifically said that in this review. Like, terrain is the third player, and the mission is the fourth player.
Ooh, look at that little tease for later on there.
Little four-way action.
Then also some changes to Overwatch and Falling Back, which I am very happy about.
I'm excited about the changes to Falling Back. I think, so my guess would be for Overwatch, it's going to be something small, like a small debuff, like you can't Overwatch more than once, which I think would be fine. Like, that's not going to really hurt too many people too badly.
But then if you think about it, right, so if I'm charging your unit with one character, like, or if I'm multi-charging, do you save your Overwatch in case I don't make it, you know, or things like that?
Exactly.
That one little change makes like a huge layer. Hints at a falling back stratagem to stop people from falling back from you.
I'm excited to see if this is going to cost extra command points, like comparatively to the other stratagems in the game that exist currently that don't allow you to fall back, like the Night Lord stratagem, things like that.
Because it does kind of invalidate that Night Lord's one a little bit if just everyone has that strategy.
Well,
now, unless it's way more expensive non-Night Lord style.
Sure. What if it's 2 CP instead of 1? Right?
Still worth it.
But you can also now do it to 2 units in one turn if you're Night Lords, right?
Yeah.
So, like, there's definitely some advantages there, I think.
They did say as well that it's balanced on a set amount of terrain. And then there'll be examples in the rule book of how much terrain that is.
Perfect.
Do we think that's more or less than what we're saying? Well, I guess to the local Alaska meta, or I guess ITC meta would be more of a thing as well. Is it more or less?
So, first of all, I would say that we here at Alaska play with more terrain than most people do.
So heavy.
Which I'm really happy about because it makes the game better. Secondly, it's hard to say. If they change the size of the board, does that change the amount of terrain? I mean, one would say yes, but maybe it doesn't. And maybe we're playing on currently we're playing on the right amount of terrain, but too big of a board. Yeah. So I don't know what the answer is. And I'm excited to see what their suggestion is.
Yeah. The exciting thing for me is the core turn is not changing. Right. So there's not going to be alternating activations, which honestly I'm happy about. I get that itch tickled elsewhere.
Right, exactly.
And I don't think so. I mean, and it's people say, hey, you should do it so it's more interactive, or you don't spend like an hour just doing nothing. But it changes the entire game.
Right. I actually think that'll make the game take a little bit longer.
Yeah, because I have to sit and think, what do I want to activate next?
And the longest part of the game right now currently is if you get into assault early. Like, that will slow the game down a ton because people are, guess what? They're alternating activations.
Yep. Oh, man, look at you with practical examples. I gotta say, all my games finish naturally. I mean, sure, it's because I'm table turn 2, but...
You guys get to 2.
I can get to 2. Strategic reserves are making a comeback, Danny. This is like a 5th, 6th edition thing, right?
Yeah. Well, and I think it's even 4th edition. You can put stuff in reserves. But now it looks like you can spend command points to put units in reserve. And depending on how long you wait, the further up the table they can come out. So if you bring them in on turn 2, then I think they can only come in from your table edge. And if you bring them in turn 3, then they can come in from the sides of the table but they can't come in from your opponent's back edge.
Right.
But there are stratagems that exist currently that do allow armies to do that. So those armies are going to get a nice benefit.
I got to tell you, I'm really excited about the prospect of putting Mortarion in reserve.
Oh yeah, that could be cool.
I
didn't think about that. That's pretty solid, man.
I'm protecting my big guys who just get turbo fuck turn 1,
and he can just come out on turn 3.
Yep, like the side of the table straight into combat. Because right now, bigger characters like Mortarion, Magnus, some of the knights, your choices are go first or don't get used.
Fair,
because people are like, oh, it's Mortarion, I better shoot him.
Yeah, he better die
with literally everything. Yeah. So like, And like, yeah, sure, sometimes he survives and moves on and does other stuff, but like having the thing where like, okay, you know you have to save something or pull back because you know turn 3 or turn 2 I'm pulling Mortarion on. And also not having to do any kind of weird shenanigans with like stratagems or weird warp time things.
Sure.
Having to take my Chaos Space Marine tax battalion so I can get warp time. Just really weird, funky things you have to do.
Sure.
Are now no longer something I think of. Unless they're like, yeah, monsters can't do it.
Well, but then like you look at force organization now, right?
Yeah.
So we have no idea what a new force organization looks like. But based on the comments that Games Workshop had in this Q&A, there was a lot of talk of take what you want to take, and you don't have to take like requirements. So it sounds like they're doing away with a lot of the requirements.
Right, which I think is something they've been trying to do for the longest time. Like even back since...
I mean, Unbound has been something for how long now?
Unbound has been something since 6, and then the using formations,
right?
Of just, you know, take what you want to take within like these strict things. But I think they've really, with stratagems and command points, they've really been able to find a good way to unlock that.
Right.
Because I know for me, like, I'm going to take a Vanguard, a Spearhead, or, you know, whatever it is there. Mm-hmm. And now it feels bad to do that because it really screws me over stratagem and command point wise.
Right.
But if you all have a set amount, and then I can take whatever I want to take and whatever I want to play with, that's going to do so much to kind of just the general meta right now. Because
sure.
Right now, I mean, those stupid little Space Marine sniper boys, they're troops or are they heavy sport?
They're troops.
They're troops. So I know for a fact if I'm playing Space Marines, I'm going to probably see a battalion with 3 squads of those guys.
Yeah, or something similar.
Or something similar, right? Or just kind of like just these
3 squads of 5 intercessors or incursors or that kind of stuff.
When they're making a game and they're making these things, even though there's a comp community for a narrative sense and about how this works with the narrative, freeing you up as a player to play more narrative things easier and even more competitively, it can only be a good thing.
Agreed. And like, but that being said, I'm nervous of the role of troops. So there has to be some kind of mitigating circumstance to take troops. Like either your troops are really good and you're going to take them anyway, in that, like, because there's going to be a repointing of the game supposedly, right? Mm-hmm. So like either troops are going to be like criminally cheap and you're going to want to take them because they're very cheap, or I'm thinking more likely to me, I feel like maybe there's going to be like, that'll be more of a mission structure where like only troops score maybe. Because I think that would be great, because then that encourages people to want to take some troop units so that they can make sure they're scoring objectives, because otherwise I don't think they'll get used very often. Right.
When even looking at like the troops I'm bringing, like the list I'm looking at with like Plague Marines, I'm pinning up a bunch and getting a bunch of my troops ready because I expect a buff to come to troops.
Right.
Because like GW still wants a balanced game, and we've seen before how when limits aren't placed on what you take, it gets stupid really quickly.
It does.
And that's where like the rule of 3 comes from. That's where like limits on regenning command points comes from. Is just people gaming stuff to get really stupid really quickly.
Right.
And some kind of buff on troops, like maybe only troops can score.
Yeah, I mean that'd be great.
Maybe troops score double than regulars.
Sure, that'd be fine too.
Just something,
or you get
like
a bonus
that.
command, or you get a bonus victory point for scoring with a troop unit.
Yeah,
like I think that'd be cool.
So something like that. But I definitely see something coming for troops. I will say, like, day 1, they have said every single codex will get an FAQ.
Right.
To make it in line.
Yeah, and you don't have to buy new codexes. I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm just excited for a new Death Guard codex.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, for sure. I hope they get some more units. I hope they get some units from Chaos Space Marines ported over. And
I think they should. But anyway, that's just wish listing at this point in my turn.
You're 100% correct, sir.
Let me see here. Terrain is going to be a big thing.
And so speaking of force orgs, right?
Yeah.
Your command point total is going to be based on the point level of the game, and they have like several different point levels. Like you have combat patrol, you have like a skirmish level, you have like an incursion is the biggest one, I think. And so based on what size of the game you're playing, like point level, that's how many command points you're going to get. And so if you want to bring allies from other books, that's going to cost you command points in order to do that.
Right.
So, like, if you want to bring in a knight, that's going to cost you a couple of extra command points. If you want to bring in allies, like John's Chaos Army. If he wants to bring in Thousand Sons like a good fluffy Death Guard player,
as all good Death Guard players bring in,
he's gonna have to pay some. He's gonna have to pay some command points for that.
Araman hangs out with the Death Guard more than he does with the Thousand Sons at this point.
Yeah, he really does. He's like buddy with Mortarion. He's like, Mortarion, go over there.
My dad doesn't like me, but my uncle's a huge fan.
Unlikely.
So they did say as well, which is kind of nice for me as someone who doesn't necessarily run a whole bunch of tanks, monsters will also be able to shoot in combat.
I thought that was great.
Which is a nice little buff for them. And then the nice thing is, well, they seem to finally fully realize that 3 different ways to play means 3 very distinct ways to play.
Sure.
As opposed to up until now where they've kind of been dipping their toe in and being like, yeah, there's 3 ways to play, but here's the same rule set for everything.
Yeah.
They're trying to make it balanced, but they're saying for competitive play, their intent is to be more balanced to make sure the players have the most agency. And they have input from Mike Brandt about narrative play.
Yeah, yeah. Well, about competitive play.
About competitive play, yeah.
So I mean that's good. I think that it takes like a tournament veteran like that to make some, or he brings some definitely good views to the table. I mean that.
Just why do you keep hitting that button?
I'm not hitting anything. You're awful. Anyway, so I'm happy about that, and I hope that the mission structure that comes out is unique and is something that is applicable to a lot of people.
Yeah. And like rim shots aside, bringing in someone with like a decade of experience in competitive Warhammer,
running one of the biggest tournaments in the U.S.
can only be a good thing.
Yeah,
and for all the shit people are giving him for it, would we rather that people who never played tournaments or never ran a competitive event were the ones deciding a competitive rule set?
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. So I guess we'll see like how this affects the ITC.
Yeah, that's going to be the interesting one. It's not been a lot really coming out of ITC since Saturday.
Yeah. So we'll see what Frontline comes up with, or what they decide to do. I mean, I'm sure that they're still going to track tournaments. I feel like that's got to be part and parcel to their business.
My hope is that they adopt these new competitive standards, but keep the same tracking.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And it depends on what the mission structure is. If it's something, because like I feel for the guys who made the ITC Battles app.
Yeah.
That was short-lived.
Because the other thing that's coming is the brand new Warhammer 40K app, which is, I'm sure, going to have all of this stuff rolled into it.
I would guess.
The only, like I said on Saturday when we released kind of our initial impressions, the only thing that they're boasting that this app doesn't do is like just blow you. Like
right.
Everything else, apparently the app does. Does it have books? Yep. You do army list? Yep. Some in-game stuff? Yep. So
check. Yep.
Check. It's literally doing anything. I would be really surprised if they didn't take that there, which sucks because that app, that ITC Battles app, really revolutionized like how I play and how I track.
Yeah, it was really nice to keep. It was an easy way to keep a running tally of what was actually going on.
And being able to look back at my games and be like, okay, this worked, this didn't, without thinking, oh, now how did that game go?
Yeah, and which turn did it really turn pear-shaped for me?
Yeah, like how long is like I always see that I do really good until turn 3. So I got those first 3 turns to build up a score, otherwise I'm just fucked.
Yep.
But yeah, hopefully that'll be something in there. Everyone always hits on 6s.
Yeah, I'm actually good with this.
I'm good with this.
Yeah.
As someone, again, with the Nurgle shenanigans, who's literally made one of my best friends just scream in rage by the fact that his Tau cannot shoot me. It doesn't feel good, right?
No,
I mean, it's like,
sure.
Obviously I want to do it, so it's like -3 to hit my stuff, or -4 because the rules are there to do it.
Oh, wait. Are they now?
But they're not anymore because -1 +1 is as much as you can go. I am super excited about that too.
Me too. I think that's a great change. I'm very, very excited to see that implemented.
That makes me happier against playing against Eldar Flyers, though it does kind of fuck up their stratagem for, an extra -1 to hit.
I don't really feel too bad about it.
I don't feel bad about it at all with the amount of Elder Flyers I've had to play.
Well, remember too that you can use that on a unit that isn't already -1 to hit, right?
Yeah, but why would you? No, I'm kidding.
And it works in combat.
They're going to be a Yandin anyway, so
yeah, right.
So 6s always hit. -1 +1 is the most you can go.
Mm-hmm.
Really huge model coming Christmas.
Yeah, there was the hint, like, well, yes.
So the exact question is, what other major players may return this edition? Pete Foley, trolly little beautiful man he is.
He was so great the entire thing.
So whenever you watch anything with Pete Foley, watch his background, because he consistently just changes the whiteboard with just the trolliest things. And it's amazing. But he said really big and exciting ones. And then the other guy said, don't peek under the Christmas tree until Christmas.
Right. And I don't know if he was saying, like, just wait and you'll see.
Yep.
But yeah, anyway, I'm so hyped for all this stuff that's coming out.
Yeah, so there's going to be some more stuff coming. Forge World books, we found out when we were at LVO, they're all being redone. Obviously, we understand why now. They're all being redone to rebalance them for 9th.
Correct.
Which we kind of thought about at the time.
Yeah, I that was my assumption, but I think it's, and a lot of people, like, in our local group are like, man, why aren't these out yet? And I'm like, yeah, because they're not coming out yet. You're going to have to wait a little bit. Anyway. But I'm super happy about that. Man, I cannot wait to get some of those stupid fucking chapter approved units rebalanced.
Oh my god!
Because Chaplain Dreadnoughts can eat the biggest dick.
They're the best, worst.
We're frenemies. So yeah, did we miss anything?
Yeah, so the core rules for 8th edition were 8 pages, and they made a big deal about how it was only stuff short.
Right.
It's going to be a little longer this time, but still pretty good. Rules appendixes obviously will be coming. The joke is, 6 pages of rules, 200 pages of special rules.
Right, exactly.
Which, again, honestly, I'm fine with, because I feel if you're really promoting that 3 distinct different ways to play, if you're building it all around the same core, then it should have a simple 6 to 8 page rule set.
Sure.
Where with competitive, you can add your 200 extra rules.
Well, yeah, and it'll be longer this time, though, because I think there's going to be, well, I mean, I don't know. It depends on where they put these stratagems that say you can't fall back and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Morale. The morale phase.
Oh, yeah. They're going to make some unspecified changes to the morale phase to make it more important. So, because like right now they're saying the comment that they made is it's all or nothing right now. It's very binary. Like either nothing happens or you lose the entire unit.
Yeah. There's been very few times where I've been like, oh, like, do I want to spend that command? I'm thinking, should I spend that command point? Because otherwise I will lose this entire unit. And I have like 10 guys left in the squad. Right.
And it's like, oh man, that's a lot of models to die just to morale. But in turn, they also said that the units that do affect morale are going to have a more prominent role in that. So I'm very excited to see what that entails.
Super excited to see what that entails.
Can we talk about Crusade for a minute? Because like
we can absolutely talk about Crusade.
So Crusade is their new narrative style, right?
Yes.
Yep. And that's different than open play.
So yeah,
because those are the 3 styles: open play, narrative, and match play. Right.
Crusade. If you're familiar with Path to Glory for Age of Sigmar, it seems to be exactly the same thing.
And so you start with a 500 point or 25 power level army. And the force will grow kind of like as the game, as you play games, and there'll be a balancing mechanic as well. So if you want to play it against like your friend's competitive list on like a one-off, that's totally fine. They can use their competitive list and then get some extra bonuses or something like that based on, or points based on, because your army is a little bit better because it's more seasoned.
Exactly.
Which I think is awesome. And I love rules like this, like in Necromunda or Mordheim when...
well, I remember, like, after the reveal, like, the first thing you said to me wasn't about anything on the reveal, just, hey, we're doing this.
Hey, we're doing this. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. The other thing, they're defining what constitutes a horde. This has me moderately worried.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what that counts as, and, like, are there going to be benefits for being a horde? Like, I'd be pretty happy about that.
Sure.
Because there's definitely disadvantages in that you're going to get shot by blast weapons, which is a new keyword.
Right.
And that means that it's that random weapons with that keyword get to maximize the number of shots when fired at horde units.
Which again, demons.
Yeah.
I think I read somewhere like 1 to 19 for being or 10 to 19 being a horde, not great. 21 plus, pretty good. 20, oh my demons, oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it'll be interesting to see. And again, looking at it in a vacuum, it's scary, but I trust that they're making so many different changes to terrain and the way Overwatch and Assault works that it'll balance out.
And flyers.
And flyers. Flyers no longer crash and burn if they decide to leave the battlefield.
Correct.
They don't YOLO out of here.
Because they can still make strafing runs, which I think is great if they fly off the table.
This is kind of back to 6th again, right?
I think 7th as well. You could fly off the
6th and 7th,
table.
you could fly off the table and come back on. And wasn't there a mechanic where you would reload your bombs or something if you flew off the table?
Maybe.
I don't remember. But it seems to be like they're starting to kind of pull stuff out of other editions.
Yeah, and I think it's a fine rule. And like they're making it so flyers can't do some of the gamey stuff anymore, like block people's movement or charges, things like that, which is great.
The other thing as well is just they seem to be removing a lot of the feels bad stuff.
Totally, and I'm very happy about that.
So like losing a flyer because my opponent has 100 models that he spaced out feels bad.
Sure.
Losing a flyer because he spread out his models so I can't get off the table or I have to fly off the table and die feels bad. This way at least kind of puts a little bit more control where, I might lose him and I won't be able to shoot with him, but he'll be able to come back on that next phase.
Yep.
Intercessor Chainswords have a -1 AP because of course they do.
Oh, Marines.
And then some of the other stuff has come up. This is kind of outside the Q&A.
They're going to change power level. So power level will get modified in chapter approved as well now, because that wasn't something they were doing before. So a lot of people were stuck with old power levels,
which didn't make sense with new meta.
Correct. And power levels accounted for things in like stratagems and things like that as well. So if those power levels didn't get modified, then those units might still suck. And so like I'm glad that they're looking at that as like, yes, this is an alternate like point system that we do need to update on occasion when units change value.
Absolutely. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about new Space Marine units, new Necron units, and a keyword that has me and Danny very titillated.
Dude, I'm the best. I took first place at another tournament.
First off, stop with the thunder and lightning. You don't impress me. And second, let me check out the BCP rankings. And I don't see you on there.
What?
Your TO needs to download the Best Coast Pairings app and run events on it. After the event, the results are uploaded into BCP rankings, and the best part, it's easy and free.
But I play multiple game systems.
No big deal. The BCP app can be used for any game. A ton of events every weekend are using it, from major international tournaments to local stores. And now that it's available on Android devices, you're going to have some serious competition.
There can be only one.
BCP Rankings is a fun and exciting way to measure how you or your team stack up. No matter what you play, your score goes to an overall ranking. Or compete to be the best in a game, a circuit, a region, or the world.
Download the app or visit www.bestcoastpairings.com for more info.
Best Coast Pairings.
Are you the best?
Oh, man, we're back. So with all of this stuff, thankfully, Potato Camera came in.
Oh, man. Thanks, Potato Camera.
On Saturday, showing us sort of both halves of the... Well, not actually both halves. God, I hope so. Both halves, but it's not. New Necron models, new Space Marine models.
I think it's a new set. Or at least, like...
You think it's going to have 2 monoliths and a bunch of walkers?
No. There's a Necron picture as well.
For sure.
But it only has 1 walker in the Necron picture.
Sadly. Yeah, we're gonna really break Danny's heart here and talk about the Space Marines first, though.
That's fine. I mean, I'm excited about them too.
We have Judge Dredd, Primaris Spikers.
Oh, dude, they look so awesome. I think that's the unit that I'm the most excited about seeing the new. Well, maybe the guys with the shields. They're cool too.
You know what I'm most excited about is like I saw one guy did a really quick Photoshop where he replaced the wheel with an intake vent.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It looks so good. Like, he did it sarcastically, but I'm like, no, that's just, it's now their hover bikes.
In my mind, they always
in my mind, and like, I really wish Chaos Biker Lords were still a thing, because he would absolutely be Doom Rider on a hover bike.
Oh, that would be cool.
On that thing there. And he probably still will be, because I'll probably still want one. So
sure.
Primaris Spikers are coming. They look like they have little bolt guns, or I'm assuming an intercessive bolt rifle guns.
So, from what I see on the models, I would guess they have some kind of twin bolt rifle. It looks like they also have heavy bolt pistols and chainswords.
Oh, because of course every Primaris is going to have chainswords now.
Right. Well, yeah, at least all the assaulty versions of them do, right?
Sure. As long, yeah. Oof. They're so nasty. Speaking about nasty, yeah, those Primaris, Assault Primaris, Assault Primaris are coming.
Man, those guys look, I mean, they look like, first of all, the posing is amazing.
So the posing is so characterful in like all 4 of the different models. There's so much movement. That did sound backhanded. But yeah.
So the picture that I have shows 10.
10 different ones? I saw like the one I have like was like the leaked one where it had like 4 or 5.
So I imagine there's only going to be 5 different ones because that's
Sure.
the way they currently have the Intercessor sprue is like 5 models, 5 different legs. So there'll probably be 5 different legs with a torso attached.
Right. I will say those models are very marine-y. Like they look like a Marine with a chainsword running at you would look like.
Yep.
They're not delicately placed on ruins like a lot of the more recent ones have to show movement.
No, dude. Yeah, they're like charging.
They're charging, and it looks terrifying, and it's great. And I'm excited to see what Space Wolf players do with that.
Oh, that'll look super cool with the bear heads and stuff.
With bear heads and stuff, or with like Space Wolf shoulder pads.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited to see what Blood Angels players do with it with
For sure.
Death Company.
Oh, yeah.
Death Company Assault Intercessors.
Ooh.
Especially with some of those Psychic Awakening strats.
Because I'm sure they'll have the Intercessor keyword as well.
Yep. So Psychic Awakening strats with John Miller saying I didn't know what I was talking about Blood Angels. Maybe I was
now
talking one edition in the future, obviously, because I knew
John's
this was
living
coming.
in 2020 in 2019.
Everyone would be so pissed I didn't warn them. No.
I'm also seeing a new Ancient.
New Ancient, yep.
Which is cool. And some kind of new heavy support squad in Gravis armor.
Yeah, it looks like, I know people were saying that Hellbastard, but that looks like a Melta weapon that they're holding.
Yeah, some kind of a Melta or it looks like a Melta, big Melta gun.
Like Devastator ones almost. You also have Honor Guard dudes.
Oh, dude.
Where they have Storm Shields.
And Mastercrafted Power Swords.
Mastercrafted Power Swords.
And so there's 3 of them. Mm-hmm. And then there's also, it looks like a captain and a lieutenant who are equipped the same way.
Rounding out the Space Marine side of
don't forget the other 2 characters in this thing you see. There's a chaplain model or some kind. It looks like a chaplain. It might be something different, but to me it looks like a new chaplain.
Are we talking about the Judicar?
No, and then there's also the Judicar.
Okay, let's talk about the Judicar. Oh yeah, that chaplain is very nice. There's a new chaplain in there. The Judicar.
Oh.
When we first saw him, Danny and I were both thinking that he was like, "Oh, cool! Space Marines got a Master of Execution."
Right.
They get so much more. This guy, his data sheet leaked today.
Right.
He is gross.
Yeah, he looks real nasty. It looks like pretty standard Space Marine Lieutenant profile for Primaris, right? Mm-hmm. So 2+ weapon skill, 5 wounds, 4 attacks. He does have a 2+ armor save, which I thought was pretty spicy.
It's that hourglass.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. He's got, he comes equipped complete with a Volkite pistol.
Welcome to 40K.
Yeah, by the way, all of the Storm Shield guys have Volkite pistols as well, which I'm like, oh, weird. That's, I mean, that's cool, but like a damage 2 pistol, I mean, that seems pretty dope. What do you think, John?
Sorry, yeah. I'm happy to see Volkite in 40K.
Yeah, me too.
It's a super cool weapon in 30K. Most of the stuff in 30K has a 40K equivalent, apart from Volkite. It seems in the Marine line anyway. Like 1 or 2 other things, sure, but like Volkite seemed to be the main one. We'd be like, why wouldn't that be there? So it's nice to see it starting to show up. And we've seen the Primaris Lieutenant from the Warhammer 40,000 website.
Yep,
has a Volkite pistol.
Dude.
So it seems to be something they're rolling out here with some of these newer Primaris.
I'm very happy about this.
The Judicar's sword.
So he's got an Executioner Relic Blade,
which is +3 strength, -3 AP, flat 3 damage.
Hell yeah, baby! So he's got a Strength 7 Thunderhammer.
He has a Strength 7 Thunderhammer,
and so he's got 5 attacks in the first round of combat because he's a Marine. In addition, if he's using the Executioner Relic Blade against a character and you roll a natural 6 to wound, it takes D3 mortal wounds in addition to normal damage.
He's very good.
But you would say, oh, yeah, okay, all that stuff, yeah, that seems just as good as the Master of Executions, right?
Better, but yeah, sure.
Okay, sure. but there's more.
It's the 2-up save.
The 2-up save is it makes such a big difference,
such
right?
a huge difference.
Because, sorry.
But you were saying, what did you say before that? You said about there's more?
Oh, but wait, there's more.
Sorry, I had to line that up, and then I had a thought.
And then you had to go back. Yeah. Nice job. It really flowed. So
leaner.
So let's see. So he's got this rule called Purge the Firstborn. Actually, hold on. Before we go to Purge the Firstborn, let's look at his other rule.
Sure.
He has a piece of war gear called a Memento Mori, which is if he dies in the combat phase, he deals D3 mortal wounds to one enemy unit within 3 inches. Great.
I'm going to charge so much goddamn chaff at that guy.
Well, yeah, so you charge him in, he kills stuff, he dies, you can fight him again because he's a Space Marine character. Then he does D3 mortal wounds. So, I mean, he can do a lot of damage.
What a dick.
Yeah, he's a dick, dude. So even if he gets like 1 wound through on your cool character, like a 5-wound character,
yeah,
he still has a pretty good chance of acing that character. Like,
I'm just trying to think of a way to make that Havoc squad of las cannons have the sniper rule.
Well, good luck. So anyway, he's got one more special rule called Purge the Firstborn. And this one is like what really piqued John and I's interest here.
Oh, for sure.
It says friendly chapter units within 6 inches can reroll failed hit and wound rolls made against... Oh, and it's weird. It's failed hit rolls and wound rolls. So it doesn't take into account... It does take into account minuses.
Yes. Which I hope is something throughout the new edition.
That'd be fine.
It does.
I'm cool either way. Against Firstborn, and that's a keyword unit.
Keyword Firstborn.
What the shit is a Firstborn unit, John?
So Danny and I have been theorizing about this for the past hour or so. It's for me, it's going to be one of 2 things.
Sure.
Boomer Marines.
I feel like, yeah, okay.
Which is going to be like your initial small tactical Marines.
Yeah.
And we're going to see 9th edition, the Space Marine book split into 2 of Baby Marines versus Primaris Marines. And we're going to have an Imperium
Civil War.
An Imperium Civil War. I also see this can be Chaos Primaris.
Ooh.
Where the Firstborn
I didn't think about that.
Your Firstborn are flawed. So you have the Judicar to go and save them, and that falls into the War of the Spider.
I was going to say, what if it's Fabius Biles units that he's made?
Mm-hmm.
We've seen
weirder things from Games Workshop than a special rule entirely devoted to 1 unit.
Interesting. Okay, so hot take. Emperor's Children? Like, I think never mind. No,
I think because Bile, even though like keyword Emperor's Children and stuff, he's not super Emperor's Children-y. He could really give 2 shits about Emperor's Children.
Kind of. If you read the Fabius Bio books, have you?
I refuse.
Oh man, you've got to.
Just came here to lead, not to read.
You're doing a fantastic job, President Trump.
Yes.
So.
Or am I?
No. Let's see here. So, yeah, I don't know. He does like his Emperor's Children in those books. Like he has a warband of Emperor's Children that he travels around with.
Do they not like him? I think there's some.
That is true. Also,
right.
Some of them do not like him very much.
So, like I said, I think let's say weirder things have happened than an entire special rule being around 1 unit from 1 book.
Mm-hmm.
But it also can be a way Firstborn could be like an upgraded keyword from War of the Spider.
Sure.
It could be something in there because maybe we're seeing a new Chaos Codex because we got Chaos 2.0, right? But maybe that was just it's not time to release a true second Chaos Codex because in a year we're going to have a whole new edition with all of this shit coming in Fabius Bile.
Right.
But we just do this one just now. Oh, no. Like, honestly, that one, always a new keyword, and especially, like, as front and center as that one is, always interests me. And I'm going to be really interested to see what Firstborn are.
Yeah, I'm very hyped for this. Like, just in general. Like, I don't care what they are.
Yeah.
I'm just excited that there's a special model that's dedicated to hunting them.
I do. I don't, it's like I'm not excited about a new keyword. I'm excited that there's a model specifically designed to destroy that keyword.
They just must be really good. Or that's a way for Games Workshop to just really get rid of little Marines.
Or maybe they're just like, oh, I designed a chaplain with a giant sword. Cool, we already have 2 chaplains. Call it something else.
Yeah, it's not a chaplain. It is a sword, right?
But it has the chaplain armor. No. We already have 2 chaplain models. Who knows?
Don't question it.
But this is, I think I'm leaning a little bit more towards Primaris separating out in some way. But it's super hard because, again, they don't want to limit people's collections or what people play.
Sure.
So, you don't want to limit it so you can't take Boomer Marines and Primaris Marines. Or do you?
I don't know.
I don't know. Either way, people are going to be salty as shit about it. So it doesn't really matter.
Who doesn't want an Execute Order 66 actual model?
Dude, you just popped the biggest boner that if Gulliman just executes Order 66 on his own chapter.
Yeah, dude.
Because of how awful the Imperium's become, he's just execute Order 66. Primaris are all over the place.
You can finally get rid of Cato Sicarius.
Spoiler, he's on our list of worst characters in 40K.
Oh, by a lot, yeah.
By a lot. It's a voting system like a Hall of Fame, and he has 100% of the votes to get in. But it's not just Space Marines getting releases. It's Necrons, too. My favorite meme from this all was the birthday party meme with the Necron getting his cake. And then the Space Marine getting his equal attention cake.
Right, exactly.
Necrons are going from what seems to be like a huge redesign of how they play as an army.
Dude, a huge model redesign, everything. There's so much stuff that's going to get changed with this.
New warriors, new destroyers, new monoliths, new Satan.
I mean, it's so much, man. I can't even describe the amount of hype that I have for this.
They have a weird ball on legs. They have terrain pieces that are either side of the Silent King.
Right. Are those part of his unit? Does he have Necron shield drones? I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Let's talk about that Silent King model because holy shit.
Dude, he is spicy as fuck.
They did the little teaser video on Saturday ever since a full picture of him has leaked as part of a larger Necron
but
force.
He's at a distance.
With new monoliths, and he's at a distance, but even from a distance, he has a trapped Satan shard powering his little sleigh.
Because why wouldn't he?
And that trapped Satan is amazing. Did you notice?
It's screaming, yeah.
Did you notice on the monolith there is a Necron Warrior?
Yeah, he's coming out of the lightning.
Out of the door.
Yeah, dude. So awesome. And I guess that's an optional piece because they have 2 monoliths and the other one doesn't have that. So you don't have to have a Necron Warrior.
You also have War of the Worlds style Spider Walkers.
Dude, I am so hyped for those guys specifically. That's probably my most excited.
Can we talk about how familiar the look is compared to the Blackstone Fortress Sentry drones?
Man, they look just like spindle drones.
Mm-hmm.
And especially the big spindle drone that's coming out.
That came out. And with Necrons being the premier users of Blackstone.
Right.
Is this a Necron construct there? So I like how that's tying in. One of the giant
new
spindle
destroyers too.
Yeah, one of the giant spindle drones has a precariously placed cannon on top of his head.
What that is, that's a Doomsday cannon from a Doomsday arc. I don't know if it's the same size, but it's exactly the same weapon design. So it's got to be a very similar profile. Yeah. And then it also so that one has guns because it has multiple guns. And then the other one looks like maybe it's, I don't know, it has some claws and stuff, so maybe it's more of a repair type of thing, like a Tomb Spider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Possibly a new flayed one.
Okay, so I actually
very back.
know what those are. I know their name.
Ooh, what are they?
I found this other leaked sheet that says that they are a canoptic plasma site.
Oh, that's way less exciting than a flayed one.
Yeah, so they have I have a little picture of it.
Oh.
Combined with a bigger picture of the walker guy, the 3-legged spider close combat guys.
You have the 3-legged spider unit. You have a 3-legged spider lord. What's it, Scorptech Lord or something?
Yeah. So they're Scorptech destroyers, and then there's the Scorptech Lord is the big boy with the big claw at the end of the new video. Man, that video was great, right?
Oh yeah.
New warrior unit.
Warrior unit.
I'm pretty sure the warrior unit can take special weapons, or at least you can divvy up the squad. Because this big picture has a unit of 10 warriors, and 2 of them have the alternate weapon for warriors.
And the rest don't?
Yeah.
Ooh.
But
But
means I'm going to have to buy a lot of warriors.
like I said, though, it seems that the Necron range has a huge redesign.
Yep. New guns on the side of the monolith. They're not gauze guns. They're looks like some kind of a beamer.
And we were talking a couple of episodes ago about how to make monoliths better.
Yeah.
And we're like, without completely redoing the data sheet. And they're like, oh, no, we're just going to completely redo
Just
the data
kidding.
sheet.
We're going to just redo the data sheet. Don't worry about it, guys. But the units that it looks like they're keeping are the ones from the last wave because they're getting rid of all the units with green rods.
Right. But your Wraiths are staying.
Wraiths, the Lich Guard and Triarch Praetorians are staying. The Triarch Stalker is staying. The Immortals and Deathmarks are staying. Like the plastic characters that they've made. So like the Overlord and the Cryptek, the newer Cryptek model. What else? Oh, the Flyers.
Yep.
And the barges.
Those classic croissants. They won't die.
They just keep ticking, man.
They'll be back.
Yes, they will.
I feel like I thought this one like they really expanded it and kind of stole the Tomb King, the like ideals for Necrons in the last few editions. This is way more of a complete army thematically. Now more than it's ever been. And I think they've used it kind of story-wise, but like they're slowly waking up. I think with 9th edition, we see they're all awake now.
I think that shit is going to get real.
real.
The real for the Imperium. Like especially since Necrons can wake up right underneath your cities, like your infrastructure. They don't care. They've been there for 65 million years. Like you would have no idea that they're there unless you stumbled upon them accidentally.
Yeah.
I think the Imperium's going to have a really rough time, especially since Necrons have all kinds of like gates, like the Dolmen gates and things like that they can teleport between. Yeah, man, I think that they're going to be a real problem for a lot of people.
Ooh, we can only hope.
I do.
We can only hope.
My little Necron heart dreams of this.
So exciting things coming. Dark Imperium being retired. New box set coming with Necrons versus Space Marines.
Oh, the Storm Shield guys are called Blade Guard Veterans.
That's just so edgy.
Oh, God. Because they have swords, John?
No, just I don't know. It seems like if you were LARPing, you would call yourself as like, what are you? Like, oh, I'm an elite unit of a Blade Guard veteran. Are they protecting the swords?
Maybe.
I don't get it.
Maybe they guard with their swords.
But either way, they've been doing it for a long time, and that's really all that matters.
For real.
Yeah, Necrons versus Space Marines coming.
It's coming.
And I, for one, can probably wait.
I already did.
If you're a true follower of chaos, enjoy killing Tau scum, fry devilfish for breakfast, drink the blood of fire warriors, collect the bones of Kroot fodder, desecrate the cockpits of mantas with demonic sigils, sing songs of chaotic praise and joy, when berserkers chain axe overwatching broadsides, Helldrake Bellflame shield drones into flying discs of spinning fire, and just all around bask in the path to glory, then the Shrine of Chaos podcast is a must-listen for you. I'm Mini Wargamer Dave from MiniWargaming.com, and I invite you to be a champion of chaos. Listen to the Shrine of Chaos podcast, wherever podcasts are downloadable. Thank you, Mob Rules, for allowing this message from the Eye of Terror.
In the darkness between the stars, the weak and the faithless find no deliverance.
Oh, man.
Damn,
So,
okay, Shody.
If you were to say to me a 4-minute cinematic trailer for a new edition and like eye-bleedingly good 3D,
So good.
I would not have believed you. No, but that was just straight up great. Hey, real quick, I want to add something on in the end here. Fuck you, Arch Warhammer.
Yeah, for real, man.
For real.
Get fucked.
Get fucked.
Like-
So there's a black Primaris Marine. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, seriously. God, get over your fucking selves.
Ultramar has 500 worlds. If there's 1 billion people on each world, that's 500 billion people. Is it really that hard to think that one of them isn't white?
Right. Seriously. I mean, come on. How can in this day and age there's like this kind of shit that still happens? Like it's
You are the
mind-boggling.
spiky bits of YouTube.
And that makes you basically the worst.
Take your clickbaity shit and get out of here. just go. And I was even going to go on his YouTube video and comment, fuck you, and just that. But I was like, no, that increases his algorithm. By the way,
right.
comment on this YouTube video if you're watching this on YouTube. Just
Hell
fuck
yeah.
you. That's
Just we're done with it.
Just do
we
that.
Understand.
Just do that. But yeah, beautiful new cinematic, new edition of Warhammer coming. Our leaner, meaner mob rules
Yes.
on it.
We're tight like a tiger.
Toit like... Dude, I love Goldmember. It's so good.
It's so good.
Next episode coming up, Engine War.
Oh,
we're going to
baby.
be going deep into chaos and
So deep.
AdMech right there, as well as I'm sure going to be the start of the articles about Warhammer 9th edition, starting June 1st. Which Danny and I will be covering.
It's coming.
For being in a pandemic, we're spoiled for content right now. So I want to thank you for joining us for this hour of just high energy bullshit.
Hour of power.
Power hour and like 10 minutes or so.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's somewhere like, hey, follow Danny on Twitter. He has a weird Twitter handle.
Oh, yeah, I do. What is my Twitter handle?
At Villicate5.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because there was 4 other Villicates
Apparently.
before you.
That's
apparently.
fucking weird, dude.
I'm at Hey John Q.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's me. That's all I got. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We have reviews. It'll be a little late because review copies aren't necessarily going out super quick, but we'll have an Engine War preview up, or I guess post-view.
Sure.
As we kind of go
It'll
through
be a
it.
thing that we work on, and you'll be able to look at it.
It'll be a thing. You can look at it. You
Or
can
listen to it. Or something to it.
or whatever. Just thumbs up it and say fuck you in the comments. It really helps with the algorithm.
Please do.
Please do. Danny, you have anything else you want to add on there?
No, man. Everybody, I just want everybody to stay safe and have fun. And I know that everybody's hobby is kind of on hiatus right now, but stay strong because we're going to get through it.
Stay strong. So yeah, for Mob Rules, I've been John.
I've been Danny.
And we'll see you next time.
A rogue trader must be strong, cunning, and perceptive. They must surround themselves with powerful and useful allies. A single rogue trader is a force of nature, with the ability to dictate the flow of trade and commerce to entire sectors. Plying their trade between distant worlds...
Are you writing another book no one will read, or are you advertising the network?
Yeah, where was that even going?
Right? The Rogue Trader network of podcasts is live!
A powerful coalition has been formed.
Stop it. The Rogue Trader network is comprised of
Mob Rules,
NC40K Cabal,
The High Lords of Terra,
and the Dangly Boys.
Find them and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
The Rogue Trader network.
Listen and subscribe today.